Know how to be normal.
We are live.
Hey, let's do it. Texas Brew Radio. There we go. Was the song playing? Is the song playing right now? Oh, there you go.
Hey. We're here with Bradley Lindsley. Yo, so that intro was a completely different conversation than what we had before we got on here.
Oh, straight up.
Like that, you have definitely completely changed your whole being, and that's I'm excited. I'm excited. It's
Yeah.
always good when you can just kind of like hit that reset button and just walk the way you were meant to walk. So that was your first song you said was back in 2015.
Yes, and that was written in a place of darkness. Like I remember I was married at the time, um, and I was so alone. I felt. I mean, no matter if I had 50 people around me, 1,000, I was alone, and I was sitting in my garage, um, crying, and that song came out, and it just stayed there. It wasn't until that was in 2015. It wasn't until 2021, no, 2020. I'm sorry, when my uncle was murdered, and he's the one that really taught me how to play the guitar and a lot of the ins and outs, um, show wise. And he first time he heard me play, and it probably sounded like nails on a chalkboard. He told me, "You're going to Nashville and record your music," and I never did. I ignored it, and so that's how that song got recorded in Bernie, Texas, at my buddy Garrett's Loggins house in his makeshift studio. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what's crazy is that you say that, and that's, I mean, think about the journey of Mercy Me. I mean, they were not a Christian band to start with, and they had God will take you further than the devil will every day.
Oh, for sure. And I tried him as well, and it ended the same way twice.
Right? And so we were talking earlier about how like God doesn't make mistakes and that nothing happens on accident. I want to tell you that like I was sitting there copying and pasting the message you got back to all the artists because I had a talk with the artist at the TCMA, and I was like I really like want the personal aspect of the artist on the station because
Yeah.
like I'm not doing this for me. So anything that's going to be extra that's going to help them relate to you or grab attention. So if you have
Yes.
like stories of cool
I
inspirational
oh,
things that
I got
happen that
I
we can
got
send
oodles,
voiceovers of, and
oodles of stories.
um yeah, I want to have fun with it. So it's about the artist. So you said that that was the first song you recorded in 2015. When did you start playing and what got you into music?
Uh, what got me into music? I've been in music my whole life. I mean, I have. My dad told me a story that when I was about 7 years old, that I was living in Calallen, Texas, and he heard Pantera, "This Love" playing, just walls peeling paint loud, and he opened the door to my room, and there I am, and I got the speaker all the way up to my ear, and he's like, son, what are you doing?" And I said, "Look, Dad, look, it makes my skin move." And that's one of the earliest stories I have. Oh, by the way, hi, Mom. I forgot. I'm a mama's boy. I have to say that. Uh, my heart wouldn't be happy if I wouldn't. But that's as early as it. the first story I had, and then moving through life, it's odd. I've been around and seen a lot of death, a lot, an unnatural amount. Whether it was personally living in Three Rivers, Texas, that had the largest minor related deaths of alcohol and some other things in the state of Texas in 2000, 2002, or in the military. Um, and then working in the federal penitentiary, uh, to watch a grown man peel his skin off is something you can't imagine. And then, and I mean, I could go on and on about that, but music, no matter what was going on, it didn't matter. It does still today. I mean, the world could be falling down on top of me, and the first thing I'm going to do is hit a playlist that has my favorite, and they're in order. My favorite song in the whole world is "Nutshell," Alice in Chains. That's going to be the first one every single time, and then it'll go through Alice in Chains to Big Pokey, to Swisher House, to J.R. Herrera, to
Shout out to JR.
yeah, no, that's a we'll get. I'll definitely go that route. And it'll go all the way to Tejano, Signo, Intocable y Todo para que is my favorite Tejano song all day. They call me Weddle for a reason. Um, and then I'll probably end it. But I like songs that rip me apart. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like when somebody plays a song that rips
I
your
think
heart out.
really it's controlled pain.
Yes.
Like when you're an empath, because we talked a little bit about that before. You're an empath, like a lot of us do stuff like that. Like there are times where I get to a certain point where I'm like, okay, we got to go to the gym. Something's got to give. And I will go shred for like 2 hours so that I can feel it for like 3 days and remember, hey, you have that outlet. If you want to feel pain, you can just walk right over there and just give it to yourself.
Yes.
It's mental health is a big deal. And like, I couldn't even imagine what kind of chaotic world we would like, man, just the images, it would be worse than the zombie apocalypse if we didn't have music. I'm
No,
sure
for
of
sure.
it.
No, like when we were talking earlier, and you made that one comment, all I had pop in my head was Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends? Yes. And
yeah,
there's three Texas country independent artists that have, and this is no hustling for them, promotion, nothing. These are my personal brothers. Hill Country Revival, Chuck Weimer, and J.R. Herrera have written 3 songs, one each, that when I heard them the first time, I had to leave. I had to leave the concert, leave where we were at. JR, his song "Tonight I Went to Church," bro. I mean, like when I heard it, I had been going to it. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we had been going to these shows a lot, And when he started playing that song, I was like, "What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?" Because I know when that hand starts creeping up your back, like, oh, you're not gonna listen to this, pull you back per se. I'm the type of guy like, no, you ain't, and I'm gonna sit there. And then when he started singing that song, I cried in the middle of the place. Everybody was like, "You okay?" And I said, "Dude, I gotta go." Chuck Weimer at a mutual artist friend's CD release party in Canyon Lake, Texas, showed me the video to Over Here. Wow. CJ Simmons, Silver Fox. Forget about it. Those 3 songs right there stay in my playlist on Spotify.
Other one, CJ Simmons.
Do what?
You said the other one was CJ Simmons?
Oh, Silver Fox.
Who was the Silver Fox is the next one? The last person you just said?
So J.R. Herrera, "Tonight I Went to Church." Chuck Weimer, "Over Here." And Hill Country Revival, Silver Fox is Wow. And then of course that one they covered recently, the House of the Rising Sun. Bro, last time I opened for a Hill Country Revival, I was standing in the middle of front row like a full-fledged groupie. Yeah! I mean, I was so excited like to hear. I mean, they're badass, man. They're badass. But I'm also a
Heck
music
yeah.
fan. I mean, I don't care
I
if they've been playing
I
a
am
day or 2 years. I'm in.
I'm excited about this weekend. There's gonna be so much music going on. We have the male songwriter. I don't know. I have been so out of touch
Who's
on
all
social media the last couple of months. Um,
who's all
well, let me
been
just
playing?
go ahead and let me pull up the lineup. There's 13 artists. Um,
13 artists.
yes, I know Gabe Choate.
And y'all are in Denton?
We are in Fort Worth.
Oh, that's 4.5 hours from here. Hey, never know. Never know whenever I might
Yes,
be like, bruh, hey, standing away in the background.
Tylen Anzalua, Jeff Monk, Gabe Choate, Jules Taylor, Jared Foreman, Tim St. Clair, Corey Wooldridge, Jason Jobst. Good Lord, Jason, forgive me. It's Jobst. It's Jobst, Cynthia. It's Jobst.
Oh, no, it's all good.
This next one might be, I'm dyslexic, and he allowed me to call him the wrong name for 4 months, so it's partially his fault. David Arvisu, Scott Kelly, Jackson Bennett, and then I need to get the winner's name that happened last week, and then whoever wins this Thursday night at Horse Hall, they're doing a male songwriter open jam, and they're gonna pick who they think is the best to get a free entry into Saturday's event.
And that's awesome. I've been blessed my whole life. A couple years ago, I was at a radio event, and Bernie Nelson was there. And one of my sponsors at the time, they had heard about. I had told them about a weekend at Bernie's, and Bernie Nelson's a legend. I mean, Bernie Nelson and from what I understand, and David Lee are the two men when it comes to longevity of writing and who you want your music to be associated with. I mean, that's just the way it is. And my sponsors paid for me to go to a weekend at Bernie's session, and he actually just released his new album, and a song him and I wrote is track number 8. It's called "Love Me for What I'm Not."
Heck yeah. Well, I want to give a shout out really quick to Daniel Curtis Music. He's watching right now out of Nashville, and
Hey.
he is also a songwriter who is very God-fearing. And so I think
Really?
it's a perfect time for you to play the song you just wrote.
Yes. All right. I hope you enjoy it. It's called "Sharp as a Sword, Double-Edged." All right. Walking into darkness all alone. I don't know my left and right, couldn't get home. I would have called you for help, I smashed my phone. No hope lost. He turned that light on and he said, please follow me. I've been with you every day in life, leading you home. And I love you. I am the way, the truth, and the life. My blood purchased you. I smashed my phone. I guess we can say my whole world has changed. I barely recognize myself. He changed my name. Jesus Christ, shine your light through me. And Jesus Christ, thank you, I love you, you saved my life. Jesus Christ, lift up your church. Yeah.
Yes, and I was gonna stay away from that sad thing that you mentioned earlier, but I, I was scrolling through and I was copying and pasting and sending this to everybody, and I'm telling you that I have not talked to you in a very long time. It's probably like February of maybe even last year, because it was like I remember it being towards the bottom because your name popped out, and I was like, I wonder what that guy's up to. And it's not that
Yes.
we even talked a lot. I don't even know. I think we're going to do an interview or something, and I just had so much other stuff going on.
That's
I'm glad that I'm actually able to do those now. But you were saying that something pretty dramatic happened a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the power of God and how that random message, you know, you never know when you just reaching out just for anything is gonna be what's needed.
And yeah, no, last year, 2023, February 10th. I mean, my whole life changed. I mean, like I couldn't. There's so many people, you know, on the independent level, you know, that know me. I mean, I'm that guy. I've always been that guy that drinks too much. If looks for the fight. I mean, just was trying. Didn't have to try. It just was a rock star in that sense. And whenever I was starting to go back to a life of superficial beliefs and just controlled chaos, 6 months go by, all those people are gone, created again. I walked outside, looked up, and there he was. Changed my life. And I don't, you know, looking back, because I hear what I'm saying, but I mean, the fact of the matter is this: I know Jesus Christ. He's my dad, and apparently this is a normal saying. I seek His face every day, and I'll die for it. I mean, I don't care what it costs me. I mean, I love Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and he's a real, infinite, living God. I had no idea. 38 years, right here. 38
Right,
years.
I'm 42, and let me tell you that we were talking about, like, you know, your experience with law and government and like PTSD. Like I was telling you about like PTSD, and you know, you were explaining to me like how intense, like I didn't even get to experience things other people have experienced. Luckily, we caught it soon enough that I did not go that full blown. But mental health is so important, and
I've
I
written
don't.
so
I don't even
many
think
songs.
that you. I don't even think that you can ever really have like completely whole mental health without having Jesus.
No,
Honestly,
and even to go back to scripture. I mean, Elijah, who one of the arguably the most powerful prophet we've ever had, and he's one of our witnesses for these end times that we're in, that's coming back. It says in there, he suffered from mental health depression severely, because to follow Christ is to be alone, and we weren't created that way. I mean, and it's wild, because I don't even know. I hardly know how to talk about anything else anymore, because he. I mean, he's just that. I mean, how awesome is he? I mean, the fact that we've done all these things, and the PTSD part. I mean, there was a while that I made PTSD my God. I mean, I saw it. Because the VA told me PTSD's for life. You can't beat this, and I was, that's a bet. And I went down this path of making PTSD my God, and researched everything. So, just to sum it up, it don't matter if you were in the military. It don't matter if you were in a car wreck. It don't matter if you broke your nail on your wedding day. And whatever your brain processed inappropriately in the wrong spot is constituted as trauma. And when we don't deal with that, the brain keeps trying to pop it
well,
out to
this is what to scientifically explain that, and they have found that the reason that it affects us is because our brains, when we think, the reason we have that photographic memory and it just comes right back is because our trauma thoughts are not thought in the same location of our brain as our actual thoughts. Our
they're in the
trauma
subconscious.
thoughts are seen in the area in which you see something for the first time. So our brain's telling us that is happening here, it's happening now, and it is going to kill us.
Yes,
Which
and
is
that's
crazy.
Because that's torture beyond. To me, that's a live, real world version of hell.
Even when we are not responding to it, our brains are telling us that we're dying, and there are visible signs, so we believe it.
And that's when
It
people
was driving me nuts getting told
when I
I
hear
was
somebody, if I ever hear somebody tell somebody else that their trauma is not more than theirs, I come unglued, because of what you said. Like, living with trauma, no matter why is irrelevant. It's the fact that we have some, and that's torture, especially, but I'd never realized that until just now. Thank you for that. That one of the other divine gifts that we're given, and this trauma live in the same part where God talks to us, conscious mind, your subconscious, back there.
Right.
And since I didn't mention it earlier, I didn't think about it, but since that day, because I'm sitting right to the left where it happened, at the time I was taking, for the VA, I had 5 or 6 medications I'd been taking since 2015 for mental health. They're just poison. There are medications that if I don't take, like at the time, like if I didn't take, I was so addicted to them. I mean, my whole body would cease. Since that day, and that's February 10th, 2023, 2:39 p.m. I don't.
Yeah, my medication took me a month to get regulated, but now that just like I was told that basically what we do, and everyone's PTSD response is slightly different. Mine is what you call Evernote syndrome. So my brain physically works like a crime scene investigator's camera, and I'm just taking in everything, every single
Yeah,
little detail
me
without
too.
even trying. And then in an incident where something goes wrong, I'm sitting there flashing through all of the whole night trying to figure out what caused it, what made it happen, how it could have been prevented, and all of that. And my doctor told me the other day, this new
Yeah,
guy,
no,
he's like, that's not normal. You need medication for that. And I'm like, well, if people don't process thoughts, I don't want to be normal. Like, I'm
yeah,
good
no,
with me
no, for
processing
sure. And
thoughts.
you know, you know, I didn't realize until 2 months after last year on that day that I hadn't taken any of them, and I was like, because somebody goes, "Hey man, what are you looking for?" I was like, dude, I was telling my buddy, I was like, dude, I haven't taken my meds from the VA for like 2 months, dude. I just realized it just now. He goes, what? That's not possible, because he's in the military as well. He was like, that's not possible. I'm like, bro. And then I found him, and then of course I had them all in the thing. They were all full, and I was like, bro, no way, bro. And like,
I
so
thought it
no,
was weird the other night. I had my medicine, like I switched up the hours just because travel was crazy.
yeah,
But I didn't take it. I just went to bed. And normally I would be waking up with like heart attack symptoms if I didn't
yeah,
take it. So I
for
know
sure.
that, like, just understanding, and that's the hardest part, is like when this shit's happening to you, they're not telling you why it's happening to you or any of this. They are definitely not. They're pumping you full of drugs, and they're
Yeah,
telling you that you're perfect, you're fine, it's all in your head, so that you feel crazy, so that they can
I,
give you more drugs.
and it's
Um,
even wild if anyone that's listening, don't take our word for it. Go do some basic diligence and pull on one thread of any medication you take, and you're going to find out something and we'll be here for you when you find out it. You can't take poison to cure something you're poisoned from. That doesn't make no sense.
Yes, yes. We were also talking about that, and
I mean,
the
it's called
different things like,
antibiotics. Antibiotics. That's kind of funny to say slow, isn't it?
right. The irony in this world, let me tell you. So when did you pick up your first guitar?
So in 2008, so I went to Warriors Heart in April. So you're talking of 2017 in November. I bought a little $40 guitar from Guitar Center, and I was like, trying to play it. And I had never touched a guitar in my life. And I used that app called Musician, and it teaches you how to. I mean, I didn't even know how to tune. I didn't know what any of this was, and then, but I was a drummer first, and I'd played drums in the military, just in my room, and then so I've always had the rhythm part, and it was just learning. I learned the basic cowboy chords, and I heard the rest, and within like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, I knew like 20 songs, and people were like, "Hey, man, you're not that bad to watch play the guitar." And I was like, "Thanks." And then it just kept going. It kept going. It kept going and kept going. And then long story short, here I sit. But along the way, there was I can't take credit for nothing, because Jesus Christ has been there the whole time, and He's manifested Himself through other people. As of today, J.R. Herrera, C.J. Simmons, Chuck Weimer, and more. There's a bunch more. Most notably, in this, as far as worldly people, um, my Uncle Dwight, rest his soul. Uh, I don't know what it was about him and I, but he was the black sheep of our family, because he drank beer and he smoked. He got high. Smoked weed, and um, I thought he was funny. And then as when I got back from Kuwait and Iraq um, in 2004, we ended up seeing each other again. It had been years, and um, Yeah, he was the one that taught me the little nicks and tricks on how to polish a turd, pretty much, and get on stage, and and the rest is history as far as that goes.
Heck yeah. Who would you say are your kind of your main influences for music besides God? We covered that base,
Oh yeah,
like, but as far as like
oh,
style.
Kirk. So Texas country wise, uh, Bernie Nelson, um, Wade Bowen, and Randy Rogers. The first time I heard "In My Arms Instead," I don't know how many used tos I used to have. The Darlings is what I call them, Darlings, and those three developed a countryside. Now, as a whole, Aaron Lewis, Kurt Cobain, Johnny Cash, every time. Those are my top three main number one artists: Aaron Lewis, Kurt Cobain, Johnny Cash.
Heck yeah. Kurt Cobain, I jammed back in the part, that
I
was the days
every show
like we
I
were all
every show
hanging
I
out in
do
the garage, jamming in the
every show I
garage.
do I'll like I like to something I do. I guess it's a thing because I've been doing it for about 2 months, 2 or 3 months now. You know how DJs, because I'm a DJ as well now. Yeah, I got time on my hands. Um, Mash songs together. I do that on the guitar. So I'll play like David Bowie's Space Oddity, mashed in with Nirvana, Something in the Way. Or I'll do Whiskey Myers' Broken Window Serenade with Hank Williams the third's rendition of Atlantic City. I mean, just odd, like lamb and tuna fish max mashups. Uh,
I love stuff like that. Like I was in the I've been in the bar industry for 21 years. So like
okay.
back in the early 2000s, in the Daytona Beach area, I ran into a DJ that did the EDM music when it was first coming out. Everybody loved it. But he
Yeah.
mashed 80s throwback, like dance party music. Or, I mean, like he even Hells on Bells, like in dubstep, like back in the early 2000s. It was crazy. I wish he was
I,
still around. There's a couple
I would
DJs I
say
wish were still around.
the mashup that really just breaks minds at my shows is Tyler Childers, Nose to the Grindstone, and David Allen Coe. Um, it's a long the ride. That one right there,
Nice.
and then right there at the end, it's a three-song mashup because right there at the end, I'll add that new song from that one. It was viral. Oh, it is. Welcome to the new world. What's that guy's name?
Good grief.
Obviously,
I'm stuck at people keeping up with
it's
people.
it,
You
no, it's
should know that. Like I'm like, I just talked to you February of last year. Like that's
but yes, no, but going back to what you said, the mental health part. I just on one of those apps because I live in the middle of nowhere, and so I don't have access to a studio. Never have actually, other than those couple times in Bernie. Um, I wrote this song right after Quicksand called "The Show." Welcome to the show, and and I wrote it. It's about we pass everybody every day, and we're all wrapped up in our own life. And you say hi to somebody, and they're smiling at you, but we have no idea if they're dying inside because the smile is fake, and it could be fake, and we need to check on our people. And I did it on one of those apps and released it, and it's actually doing very well. I'm actually surprised.
man, the fact that you say that whole smile and fake, what's it called? You said welcome to the show. You did release it?
Well, I released it as far as like send it out, put it on a page, but I can play it right now if you want.
Heck yeah.
All right,
I'm
you're gonna love this song. Check it out. Here we go. Welcome to the show. It's a full-time job keeping a smile on my face. And all I wanna do is scream real loud. I'm a disgrace. And all I want is peace of mind and the pain to leave. Why can't I be a good man like my father taught me? 3 days been when I get to work. It's starting to show. Everyone's staring at me like they think they know. The same time question about the man from long ago. And I just grit my teeth and say, welcome to my show. It makes me sick to my stomach to live your right side of life. And I beg God, Jesus Christ, save my life. But I don't want no pity and I have no one to blame. Give him all your happiness, I'll take your pain. All I want is your pain. But I'm 3 days been when I get to work. It's starting to show. Everyone's staring at me like you think you know. The same time question about the Bradley from long ago. And I just sing my song on Texas Brew Radio. 3 days been when I get to work. It's starting to show. Oh, that freestyle at the end.
Oh yeah, definitely love the plug. Love the plug. Oh my goodness.
It popped in there at the last. I was like, oh, it rhymes. Do it. That's ADHD used effectively.
Right. Oh
Yes.
man, and that used effectively is key.
Yes. No, for real. Like,
That.
I mean,
Oh my goodness.
I could sleep. There's been so many times on stage, like I'll get like a good 10 seconds. Like I could literally be asleep and still playing and singing. And like I'll wait like so when I feel that like and I know there's artists that they're listening, they're like, bro, that's facts. When you're playing night in, night out and respect, like I've been in the military, I've worked in a penitentiary, I fought for my life several times. And I'm not comparing the two, but what I am saying is that the life, these artists that have been grinding 20 years, 10 years, 15, whatever the amount of time, 6 months, it don't matter. This is a different level of mental health drain. So you're giving away, these artists are giving away their whole entire energy for 3 hours away from their wife or husband and kids or whatever they got going on. And it I don't know why I'm even saying this, but it
Yeah, I
breaks my
mean,
heart. It
because it's
breaks my heart
important to support artists.
every single time I go to a show and I hear somebody finish a song and not one, I'm like, that breaks my heart because if they only knew what it takes to sit on stage behind a microphone, and I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about these artists that have been grinding for decades and what it takes to give your
Right.
energy away and build everybody else up and then walk off stage broken. And man, respect to all the brothers and sisters and y'all as well. Any radio station, especially Texas Brew Radio, y'all are my favorite. Uh, that
Heck
that
yeah.
are doing something to help somebody else. That's just freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, it's important to support the artist, and that's why we're doing the events that we're doing because I just feel like, I mean, it's kind of like a Groundhog's Day thing anymore
Groundhog
because
Day.
Because you're deemed to play in a place that's broken. Like everybody's in there trying
Yeah,
to drown each other, fight with each other. They're not focused on the music, and it's depressing. When
yeah,
you are like, working 40 hours a week and dumping everything you made at
yeah.
work into this so that you can go somewhere, and then people that are right in front of you are just like, huh, cool.
And music
You hear
and
that
music.
guy?
Yes, no, music can take away. It'll like man, and the Iron Horse Saloon in
Yes.
yeah,
Wichita
okay,
Falls.
so there's one down here in as well,
Oh,
and I
heck
can't
yeah.
remember the name, but I was there, and my uncle that I had mentioned earlier, I just found out, and I was in the middle of telling somebody next to me, and was about to leave, and there was an artist on stage that was played one of his songs, and I stopped mid conversation and looked, and I go, "Who the is that?" And they were like, "What do you mean? What were you saying about your uncle?" I said, "Well, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. What? Who is that? Because that man right there. I mean, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but that's going to be. I mean, he's why isn't he a rock star?" And that man was Zach Talbot.
Yeah, so funniest story. There must be something about the Zachs, because Zach Webb caught my attention. I was ready to quit this bar rescue, the first one I did here when I
Did you
became
say
a
Bar
COVID
Rescue?
transplant. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, PTSD will make me
Oh
doing some stuff because you're really good.
no!
You should
Whenever
not be
whenever you're done,
doing.
whenever you're done, I'm going to tell you how I used to do the same thing.
Oh my
That,
gosh. Oh my gosh.
did we just get best
Yeah.
friends again? Yes.
Like, and what's crazy is that, like, I mean, it literally changes your brain chemistry. So now looking back at all of the people who stood beside me in my storms, we all have the same chemistry, man. It's crazy. I'm like, see, I
So
knew we were related. I just didn't know it was. I
yeah.
just didn't know it was that way.
So there were bars
But
around where
Zach
I live.
Webb, like,
Go ahead.
I was about to quit my job. And so, like, I had that previous Friday, I had fired the cute bartender, and she only works on Fridays. So, what big of a loss was that?
Boo.
One shift, and
Boo.
I fired her. I got told to hire her back or turn in the keys. And I said, well, I guess you're going to meet her disrespect with disrespect, and I'm going to match her getting fired with promoted. I'm going to go ahead and give them to her. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
But geez, I don't remember why I was saying that.
No,
But
that's freaking
I
awesome.
was about to leave there.
No, so the bars around here where I'm from Three Rivers, Texas. Most notably, I live in Nell, Texas. You can't even find it on Google Earth. Um, so there's bars around here that, as far as location and the way it's set up, like, I mean, somebody who can't get hard can get a nut. I mean, that's how easy it is to with the location they got. And I would, so when I would go find these bars, I'd be like, so why is this happening? Why is this happening? They're like, well, we don't have any market. I said, what do you mean you don't have any market? You need a crazy Bradley is what you need. And they said, what do you mean? I said, so get in where you fit in, stick to the sides if it's too loose, and let's get the artist here let's do once a month on your whatever your day you're trying to promote, and we'll call it music instead of bar rescue. We're going to call it music rescue of your bar. I did that for 2.5 years. That's why when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
yeah, I don't even remember why I was saying that. My granddaughter is struggling with nap time, and it distracted my brain with the ADHD. I was like, oh, I gotta
What's your granddaughter's
save
name?
the baby. Her name's Harper. She's the
Harper.
baby boss. Yeah, she actually went to the TCMA Awards with me on Thursday last week. She was
Harper. I
Hank.
won't forget. That's where Bernie lives. That's what that song I was telling you about.
Oh, nice. That's
And
crazy.
his
Um,
record is released as well. It's called Cadillac Stockyards. It's yeah. Check that album out when you can. It's amazing.
So do we have it's the Bradley show on Facebook. Is that where they're going to find you at?
Yeah. Well, remember it was Bradley Lindsley Music, and if that dude's listening, I'll see you soon. Um, Somebody stole my entire identity almost a year ago now. There's a Bradley Lindsley page that has me and my dad back when I was a fat boy, fat and happy, with my dad like this. That's my original page, stolen. Uh, Crooked Boots Cornhole, because I have my own cornhole company as well. Cornhole is a great thing. Um, Crooked
I
Boots.
need cornhole at our second Saturday of the month events.
I'm telling you, DJ Bradley Show, Crooked Boots Cornhole. That's the thing. We are in Fort Worth. I've been to the Rail Club.
Are you in Fort Worth? Where are
No,
you?
no,
How far from
but
Fort Worth are you?
I'm 4 hours. But I have some family there in Allen, Texas. Isn't that close to there?
Bro, I'm a COVID transplant. Like I don't even leave my house anymore after my
Oh,
experiences.
hey, don't even trip. Hey, you're in the right hand. You don't have to worry about nothing. Uh, so, dude, I'm gonna get to y'all because so let's tell that story. So currently, the reason why I say I'm gonna get to y'all, the first time in my life as well, I don't have a car. You know why? Doing things my way. I was playing a show in New Braunfels, Texas. I'm gonna leave the venues out because it's a negative light, and it's not their fault. Two big shows in the same day, shows that for a Texas artist you want to be at these venues. I came off stage and there was a couple standing there. You already know what I'm about to say. They hand me a drink, and, everybody Bradley, 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 and I was like, I didn't fart. What do you what? And then somebody handed me Fireball's my weakness. Took a shot, and the guy was like, "Hey, you want to come home with me and my wife? I would like you to do her a favor." That's a nice way to say it. And I go, "What?" And he said it again, and I was like, "Well, thanks. I mean, I appreciate that. As far as the sentiment, because that's like a compliment. I think." I said, "But I'm not that guy anymore. There was a time, but it's not today." And I said, you should. I said, "I'm not judging you." I said, "But this is wrong. Marriage is is the most sanctified thing to God. You don't want that smoke." And what I didn't know was he had drugged the drink. And but I'm a big boy, so I left the show. I always do my normal routine. I drive to the nearest Whataburger or McDonald's, and I go there and I eat 4 double cheeseburgers with no pickles, no onions. And then I, smoke cigarettes and hang out for a little bit until if I've had too much to drink and get appropriate ish. And I did the same thing. My last drink was at 11:30 p.m. I left McDonald's in New Braunfels at 12:30 p.m. No, 1:30 p.m. And I had a cheeseburger, the fourth cheeseburger in my mouth. I put it in reverse. Lights went out. I woke up 12.9 miles upside down in my truck, flying through the air. I laid on the side of the road for 4.5 hours, bleeding. My jaws were broke. I was pretty sure my lung was punctured. Um, I crawled to the side of the road. It was like 30 yards, and I was waving and screaming as loud as I could. Nobody would stop. The houses were it was like a rural area. So about 2 acres, about an acre, half acre to an acre in between houses. I was throwing stuff with my good side because this whole rib cage was broke. As far at their doors, nobody came outside. At 4:30 in the morning, and this is the time frame is based off the call log. Um, I heard buzzing. I dug. I remember digging my phone out of the ground, and it was my dad. And my dad goes, "Son, are you okay? You said you were gonna." They live on the north side of San Antonio. You said you were gonna stay here tonight. And I said, Dad? He goes, yeah. I said, Dad, no, I'm not. I'm bleeding. I flipped my truck. I think I'm dying. Please. And it took him. It took him with the phone company 2.5 hours to find me. And when he did, like on the window, and I looked at him, and he was like, son, are you okay? I was like, no, man, my face hurts. And then I left my ID and information on the window. Still, nobody has come outside. And then we go get checked out, and then I sleep for about 5 hours. I get up next day. We drive back to where my truck was. It's gone, of course. The landowners are outside. My dad was like, "You want to stop?" I said, "Yes, sir." I said, if you man up, if you fuck up, you man up. Period." And I got out, walked to the landowners, took my hat off, and said, "Sorry, I did that." And they said, "It was the oddest thing." He goes, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Wait, I didn't fart." What do you mean? Why? That's what I say when I'm confused. And he goes, "But you got away." I said, "I didn't get away. I didn't. There's no run in me." I said, I was bleeding. I was hurt." He goes, "So you came back? Why?" I said, "Because I did wrong. This is what you do. You mess up, you come back, and you ask for forgiveness. Period." And he goes, "Well, I wish there was more like you." He said, "I don't know how to tell you, son. The cops don't care." That's my face. I said, "What do you mean the cops don't care?" Oh, I said, "Okay, well, they lied to you, sir. The cop was lazy. He was about to get off shift, and he wasn't going to show up to court. So why do the paperwork?" Retired law enforcement, 20 years. So I was like, "Okay, well, here's my information. Send me your stuff, and I got all this material at my house. I'll fix it myself, or I can pay you for it." And I said, "But don't play with me when it comes to the money. Don't play with me." And he was like, "No, okay, thank you, I appreciate it." Left. And then I got an email a week later for $8,000, and it was 6 T-post, metal T-post, and
Oh, good grief.
three
Yeah.
strands, 3 strands of barbed wire. But I went and got my truck. I went and saw my truck at the tow yard. The state troopers were there, and I walked up to him. Same thing. It was like, and they were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, I mean, I'm Bradley. That's my truck." And they were like, "Okay, well, back up." And I was like, y'all don't want to take me in for leaving the scene. I know I left a note, but that don't matter." And they were like, "No, you're good." I said, "Okay." I still don't. And then since then, I have bad credit, but I have money. You can't get a car that way. Here I sit.
Right.
Isn't that odd?
It's facts. It's facts. It really is. There was something you said. I was going to say something. I don't know. I think I've been on here long enough that my brain is just like the hour mark has
Dude,
approached.
every single time I've ever been on there's 3 other ones and a couple radio stations. They've said those exact words.
Well, actually, my buddy, he does a podcast. You definitely, your brain knows when the time is up, and so it
Yeah.
starts focusing on
No,
that.
I agree.
And
I agree.
and so he was explaining how, because we went to the hour and 20-minute mark, he was like, every single time, Cynthia, we end up, that's when all the good stuff comes out, is right at the end, because you're like, crap, what
Yeah.
else do I gotta say? And you just
I
mind dump
if you
on
if you
everyone.
if you would have told if you would have told me I was going to tell that story, I'd been like, "No, I'm not going to tell that story," and it happened.
Well, and to keep it real, Cynthia said that she keeps her interviews basic and simple and strictly about the artist. And this artist said, Cynthia, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I
He's like,
love
I
it.
don't run that way. I was like,
No,
okay,
I'm
I don't
telling
either,
you.
really.
Like, let's get outside the circle. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, no cookie cutters over here. Like, we think outside of the box and we color outside of the lines, because there is
I
an
think there should
entire
be.
page.
I think there should be a podcast, and I and I'm saying it to you. It should be called Just Saying. I'm just saying.
Right, right.
How many people go? They'll say this just most factual, like just hit you in the heart comment, and they'll go, "But what do I know? I'm just saying." I
Right.
think that
Yeah.
I think that should be a
That's
thing.
me a lot. I do that a lot. I definitely do that a lot.
If you ever
Well, it's
take
been
that,
good chatting
I'll
with
be
you,
with you.
and I'm excited. We'll figure out some way to get you down to one of the events down there. But
This Saturday,
so
right?
when this Saturday is the male songwriter of the celebration, and
Well,
then
I'm just trying. I'm going to show up just to. I'm going to try to get my face in front of your face. That's the short term goal there.
heck yeah. Well, the second Saturday of every month, we also do an event called Jokes and Strokes for Folks. And that event, you would be able to bring your guitar. I know my business partners
Hold
give me
on,
crap about it all the time.
Jokes and strokes with folks
For folks.
for
For
folks.
folks.
That
So
sounds like
it's
a balloon.
comedy and so, but you know what? Curiosity killed the cat. And if people start seeing a bunch of people walking around with t-shirts that say Jokes and Strokes for Folks, they're going to wonder what it is. Like curiosity, it's a psychology move. Like they're going to want to know.
Dude, my
It's
brain's
actually
already.
a kid-friendly event.
I stroke folks for jokes.
I guess Jokes and Strums didn't work, man. Jokes and Strums didn't work.
Jokes and strokes for folks. Strokes of folks with jokes. Like, dude, I'm gonna be all day. Like when we get done, I'm gonna be sitting like this. Folks. Yes, no, you just feel like the next 3 hours of my life.
We had a lot of fun last month. Just last weekend actually was our event. We had food trucks and vendors. We had artists. My buddy brought some choppers. I brought a trike and a Harley down from up here in Wichita Falls, and went and enjoyed the town. We had a balloon artist. I think that we might have like a couple of I think that Deadpool and Spider-Man might be there in June, doing balloons and hanging out for selfies with the kids and having fun. And
not Deadpool doing the Spider-Man.
It's about the community. It's what?
Nothing.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
When you go back and listen to that, dude, you're gonna laugh. You're freaking. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
I think my processor already processed.
No, no worries. Hey, I love your freaking face. Texas Brew Radio is this. I mean, hey, you're the bee's knees. It's freaking great.
Yeah, absolutely. Look up the Bradley Show. Find Bradley Lindsley on Spotify and help him get to the studio to record his next song.
Hey, all I want. There's only one thing I want: to be there for a short time, not a long time. That's it.
Yes, then a good time.
Yeah. All right. You're awesome. Thank y'all so much.